Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of handcrafted candles. That's right, every product is thoughtfully created in small batches free from harmful toxins for mindful everyday indulgence. Our candles are hand-poured in coconut soy wax with natural wood wicks, offering a long-lasting burn and rich fragrances. Create a cozy, safe ambiance for your home with candles from Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers use the promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network.
And I'm
All right.
mighty tired of your trifling ways.
Gas prices. And believe it or not, by some sheer amount of luck or wizardry, big Harry Potter guy, so maybe, Rupert Grint came out and said expensive petroleum, and all of a sudden everyone got distracted and voted yes. People want change. And everyone's, a keyboard warrior on social media, and they say all their opinions, and they throw stuff out there, they share posts and comment, and they say, we can do this, we do that. Those people going to the polls. A lot of things in our lives that you just can't control. One thing you can is your effort into something.
Some of the old songs.
Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday here on Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. So happy that you are with us here on the program. As always, a reminder as we kick off the show, do not forget to like, subscribe, punch that notification bell to, of course, the Inside Edge Network. It's Inside Edge Net is where you want to go on all the social media platforms. We're all across it. You see at the bottom of your screen. YouTube, of course, is where all of these live shows and all of our broadcasts get off the ground and running, as well as X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and everything in between. And also, don't forget, we have a website. It's pretty damn cool, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Not only are you getting the full perspective about all the different shows and the different, of course, personalities we have across the network, but we have merch too. We have things you can buy to wear. You can wear the network. You can rep us. That's awesome. Polos, shirts, hats, and glasses, mugs, and of course, this special thing right now, and this is something that my producer Eli has said he's willing to do. We're going to keep this going for the end of the month, and I'm going to start every show by letting you know if we can get up to 10 items sold in the next 3 weeks by the end of May, he's going to let me cut his lion mane of a hair on the show. I've thought about the terms. I want it to be on Unfiltered because why not? And then we'll just have a talk. It'll almost be like a conversations with Eli Moon or with Papa Moon or whatever it is. It's kind of like that, but it will be an Unfiltered episode, and it'll be me essentially shaving his head. So that's going to be fun. It can be a great experience. You're going to want to see it. So again, go to the website right there, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Head over to the merch store. Listen, you don't have to buy one of the expensive jackets or whatever it is. Get a T-shirt. Get a coffee mug. We got to get to 10 items sold here in the next 3 weeks. We can make this happen. We can do this together. I need you because this is going to be so cool if we can pull this off. So head over, get that done. And at the end of the day, either way, you're supporting all of us here at the Inside Edge Network. So we appreciate you for that. So we have to start. And by the way, this is amazing. My mic decided to work today. I feel like one time per week, this microphone is going to tell me no. That's why you got the phone sound yesterday, which didn't sound terrible. I had to move everything a little bit closer to me, but today I get to kind of keep you at a safe distance, which is good. We're going to start, though, on a bit of a sad note. We'll talk Cavs in a second. And of course, there's a couple other big stories that have been in the news recently that I want to dive into because it's been a busy couple of days here in Northeast Ohio and in Ohio in general. But there was an announcement not too long ago, maybe about roughly an hour or two ago, that Brandon Clarke of the Memphis Grizzlies has passed away at the age of 29. That's actually one of the lead sports stories right now in the cycle. And you can see a picture of him there. Of course, he was a forward center for the Memphis Grizzlies, a great college player, and dead at the age of 29 years old. ESPN has put out a report now saying they believe it's a possible drug overdose that led to his passing. There's going to be a tie-in a lot today to not only this story, but to the other news stories after we talk Cavs about mental health and about where people stand when it comes to that and how important it is. And we've talked about this. It's been a message here on the Inside Edge Network that, mental health is one of our top priorities. We have shows dedicated to folks that have been able to just sit down and talk about it. I was a part of that, on Papa Moonspa podcast not too long ago. So, I mean, it's so important. And I know drugs, sometimes you just get into it. It has nothing to do with the mental side of things. It's your environment and you get involved and it's not even about battling demons. You just don't even think too much about it. I don't know the full story with Brandon Clarke. I don't know how deep this went. But it's sad. Not only because he was a great basketball talent and he was a piece on that team I think they were looking forward to having for the next number of years, but he's got a family, he's got friends, and, it's a person. And he wasn't even 30. I mean, it's sad and it's really unfortunate. And of course, my thoughts, my prayers are with obviously his family, like I said, his friends, the Memphis Grizzlies organization. They've been doing a lot of overturn there, and this is just a really unfortunate thing. Because again, and you'll notice this, it's a brotherhood, it's a fraternity in the NBA. Like that's why people still, even after Game 7, Cavaliers series with Toronto, Chippy series, they're still high-fiving and talking and all that stuff. And some people don't like that. Some people really don't like the fact that there's a lot of camaraderie in the NBA and the NFL and almost every professional sports league. There's a brotherhood. When you make it to that level, you're elite. It's something not a lot of people can say they've done. So there's a bond there. Even when you're on rival teams, even against Detroit, even against whoever, when this series is done, they'll all dap up at the end and there'll be love. They lost a member of the family. The NBA did. They lost a member of their family and the Grizzlies. When you invest that kind of capital and time and effort into someone, they almost by hook or by crook become part of your family. And that's what Brandon Clarke was to the Memphis Grizzlies. And it's a damn shame. You see these stories and you kind of hope it's natural causes, or you hope, honestly, this situation, you were hoping maybe it was just a freak accident. But then to find out that it possibly was an overdose, that's the part that really hurts. And that's really sad. So again, thoughts and prayers out to everyone involved in Brandon's life. And yeah, I'll be saying a prayer for him at the end of today and moving forward. All right. We have to spin this a little bit because there is some more heavy news today later on in the program that we have teed up for you. But let's talk about the Cavs. How about that win last night? Great coverage as always here on the Inside Edge Network by Autumn, Eli, Chad, Double A with Midnight Run. Yeah, I was actually playing tennis last night, so I didn't get a chance. I was too busy getting my ass kicked to watch the game, but I caught the end on Gamecast to be able to see them finish it off. Am I crazy for still saying that they still need to trade Mobley for Giannis? I know everyone we're prisoners of the moment, and it was a great win, especially in the third quarter. And 25 straight points. Donovan Mitchell, 39 points and a half, which is the most, tied for the most ever in a postseason playoff half in NBA history. I still think, and Mobley had a game. I think he had 17-8, Maybe he had like 4 or 5 assists, 5 blocks, 3 steals, whatever. That's a complete game. That's very much third option Chris Bosh game. If we're being honest, like that's very much what Chris Bosh was asked to do in Miami with LeBron and Wade in that group. Like, yeah, give us 17 to 18, close to 10 rebounds, and play really good defense. And we'll take that. That's a great third option. And on a night where Donovan finished with 42, James Harden had a double-double, 24 and 11, I think, 24 points, 11 assists. A lot of his damage in the first half to keep the Cavs in striking distance, and obviously Donovan Mitchell took over in the second half. And enough from the others on the team, the bench role players, everyone else just doing just enough to win by 9 in the game. It's home, though. And I saw a commercial, ironically enough, on Prime because I was watching part of the Lakers game, and LeBron's a big question mark now because their season's done. Oklahoma City swept the Lakers. That was the best effort they were going to get. But the Thunder move on. Like the Knicks, it almost seems like the Thunder and the Knicks are just kind of gearing up to face each other in the finals. Just the way they're both playing, it's ridiculous. But the home court advantage for Cleveland, I put it up there with OKC. I don't think the Knicks, and people talk about Madison Square Garden. I think it's more of the scene setter, the setting itself, and not the crowd. The crowd's not bad. The crowd's good. But like MSG is more just because it's MSG, not because the Knicks have this amazing crowd that's so loud and all this stuff. Not saying they can't get loud, but I mean, like, I don't put them in the upper echelon of like loudest arenas. I think Boston probably gets louder than Madison Square Garden for the Knicks. But honestly, Cavs and OKC, I think, have the 2 loudest arenas in the entire NBA. Like, just being in that arena and hearing that crowd, I mean, it is ridiculous. And it matters a lot. And again, no offense to Detroit. That's a passionate basketball city. They can get loud. Used to be the Palace of Auburn Hills. Now they're, I don't know where the fuck they are, somewhere in Detroit, in the area. But I mean, it's just not the same. It's not the same in the Little Caesars Arena as it is at Rocket Arena. I mean, there's a difference. Cavs got to figure that shit out. And we'll talk about, I believe Game 5 is tomorrow. I've been tasked with being on the post-game coverage for that. So we'll talk more about who doing what tomorrow when the time comes. Obviously, we'll gear you up and get you ready. But for that reaction, because they need to win a damn playoff game on the road now. I think it's been made pretty clear that they can perform at home and they can do a damn good job of figuring things out. The third quarter has been kind of key for them throughout the postseason, except for Game 3. Other than that, pretty much every game this postseason, the third quarter has been the Cavs. That's their make or break quarter where they figure things out and either get back in the game, even if they lose it, they get back into it in the third, or they at least make it interesting in the third quarter and close the gap. So I think expect them to come out slow tomorrow night, and then hopefully they'll figure it out. But to the main point of all this, I would still look at that Mobley for Giannis trade, because honestly, I know Chad had talked about this, I want to say after maybe Game 1, and I listened in Game 2 as well after the post-game, or after the game, post-game coverage with us here on the Inside Edge Network. He had said, this is the Evan Mobley you're getting. This is the best version of him. And that was the 9.1 rebound Evan Mobley. That's him. It's like, no, this game, Game 4, that's the best version of Evan Mobley you're going to get on this team the way it's constructed. You're going to get 15 to 18 points. You're going to get 8 to 10 boards. He's going to make some plays passing the ball, and he's going to do really well on defense. There's a place for that. And I think in certain teams, in certain situations, it could be highlighted even more. But as the roster is currently constructed, he is not ever going to be the first, or honestly at this point, even the second option. Because of James Harden and what he does with the ball in his hands and all that, he's going to be the guy who's still running the ship. If James Harden wasn't here, maybe you can get away with calling Mobley the second option because he'd have to do more, but he doesn't. If Giannis comes to this team, and I think this is pretty clear, he will emphatically take over the first option if not be 1A, 1B with Donovan Mitchell. And I think that's fine. Donovan now has to show that he can do this on the road the way he did, because he lifted this team up on his shoulders and pulled off a LeBron-type performance. I don't want to hear about the 6'1" guard stuff when it comes to what he did last night. That was an all-world performance. That's top 5 player in the league performance he put out there. I don't care what jersey he was wearing. I don't care what position he played. What he did in that second half, that's ridiculous. And I think now he's third all time in Cavs postseason scoring, behind only Kyrie and LeBron. He probably won't catch either of them unless they get to the finals. He might catch Kyrie. LeBron's like thousands of points ahead. But I'm also looking at LeBron right now. I'm looking at his situation, and I'm going, does he really want to go back to the Lakers after what just happened? If the Cavs find a way to win this series, they get to the New York series and they flame out in the conference finals, which very well could happen because New York is just playing out of their mind. You're kind of hoping the break makes them play worse. They just get out of rhythm a little bit, or they come out slow because they're going to have home court too, home court advantage. I don't know, man. I I look at him, and there's not many teams, and I know there's going to be teams that are going to inquire about LeBron and all that stuff too. There's not many teams that are going to want to pay him the crazy amount that he maybe would ask for. If he's going to ask for another max contract, that's just not going to happen, even if it's for a year or two. Like, he knows he's going to have to take less money. Like, pretty surely he's going to have to, unless he wants to play for a really bad team. But, yeah. Listen, if I'm Kobe Altman, man, could you imagine a team? And I mentioned the Drew Holiday trade. James Harden, man, it's hit or miss. But like, could you imagine a team with your starting lineup as Drew Holiday, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Jared Allen at your 5? With the shooting of Strus and those guys. And honestly, you could rotate the starters so that LeBron plays the 4, and you could throw in a Strus or a Merrill or whatever in, or a Tyson. I know Eli likes Jalen Tyson because of his grittiness. I mean, I like Jalen Tyson too. Like, you could do one of those guys for shooting purposes, a little bit smaller lineup, but you could play Giannis at the 5, and I'm pretty sure with that group, he wouldn't mind. He likes playing the 4, but I mean, dude, whatever. That group would be ridiculous. Just saying. Do you want the possibility to maybe get to a finals, or do you want to be able to make sure, hey, we're going to win at least one? Because that group wins at least one title. If they stay healthy, that group wins one title. I think even if you just had Giannis and Drew Holiday, that group, as currently constructed, as long as everyone resigns, you're signing up for probably at least one championship. And listen, that's as many as we have in Cleveland. They only have one to begin with. So people saying, oh, it's just one. And I know Double A was on Midnight Run the other night, a couple nights ago, and was like, I'm tired of Cavs fans saying we were spoiled and all this stuff. It's like, you know what, dude? Hate to break this to you, but not a lot of teams go to the finals for 4 straight years. And those, late 2010s, mid to late 2010s? And you won one. You didn't Buffalo Bills it. You didn't go to 4 straight and lose all of them. You actually got one done. And again, certain things go your way. You could have more, but they didn't go your way, because winning a championship is almost as much about luck as it is about skill. And it's about timing. And it's about everything has to go your way. And that's how you what? For the majority of the LeBron years and all that stuff, they were always in the conversation. And 5 times he got there with Cleveland. He only got 1. It could have easily been 2, depending on how 2015 would have went, if Kevin Love doesn't get hurt, if Kyrie doesn't hurt his knee at the end of game 1. Who knows? But at least they got one. There are still teams that don't have anything, that haven't even got to the finals. And these guys were there for 4 straight years. Yes, you were spoiled. And I'm a Cavs fan. I can admit that. Or do you need to be reminded what happened after LeBron left for those first 3 to 4 years when they were barely winning 20 games? And we had the number 1 pick 3 out of 4 years in a row, and we still weren't able to get over the hump and even make the playoffs. Dude, yes, you were. It's not a bad thing to be spoiled. You got to enjoy it while you have it. And this is an opportunity for the Cavs now. Doors open. Got to win on the road. Donovan Mitchell, those guys have to play like this in Detroit. It's a couple-hour drive. It's a 20-minute flight. No excuse for being on the road. It's not a long road trip. Get it done. Game 5 is very important. We'll see what happens. Going to take our first break here on Unfiltered. When we come back, a couple stories we're going to dive into. This happened today out in Wayne County. It's southwest of us, not too far away, about 40 minutes some change from my apartment. But we're going to talk about this crazy situation involving a sheriff, a deputy, and a guy with a knife. Crazy story there. Also, I shared this on the Facebook page, Unfiltered, with Kyle Cornell the other day. An Ohio teacher getting arrested for punching a student, and he's getting support from students. We're going to talk about that. And 7-Eleven doing something special for you guys, too. I know how much you like, those gas discounts. Well, you may be in line for another one. And I'll tell you what, you missed it by a day, but there's still a couple more chances to get a possible discount on gas. We're going to talk about all that coming up here on Unfiltered next. Stay with us. Clean energy, bold flavors, and no jitters. See why people won't shut up about Dubby. Clean energy, no jitters or crash. Whether you're starting your workday or getting ready to exercise, Dubby Energy helps you lock in and focus. With over 15 flavors to choose from, you can't miss. Order Dubby Energy right now by using the QR code on your screen and use the promo code InsideEdge10 to receive 10% off your order. Dubby Energy, your energy-focused sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
And we thank you for your support of the Inside Edge Network. And don't miss my show, Midnight Run, right here on the Inside Edge Network. You won't miss a single episode when you like and subscribe at Inside Edge Net.
Whether searching for a baseball autographed by your favorite World Series slugger, a signed football by an iconic Hall of Famer, or the jersey of a world-famous soccer star, you've come to the right place. Here at sportsmemorabilia.com, the web's leading source of authentic sports memorabilia, you'll find more than 500,000 authentic products from nearly every professional sports league, team, and players. Not only will you find your next prized sports possession with ease thanks to superb customer service and tremendous site experience, you'll have the satisfaction and peace of mind that every product listed comes complete with a certificate of authenticity and is fully backed by the sportsmemorabilia.com lifetime authenticity guarantee. Go to sportsmemorabilia.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. Sportsmemorabilia.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Podcast Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
Welcome back Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell here on your Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. So happy you're with us here on the Inside Edge Network. Don't forget, force like, subscribe, punch that notification bell to get all the latest updates on when we go live, of course. Great daily shows for you from 5 to 6 here with us on Unfiltered. Don't forget, 10 to 11, Monday through Friday. It is Inside Edge Prime Time with, again, Eli and Chad. Do a great job with all the latest sports stories. And Midnight Run with Double A Anthony Alford. in his second week now doing 5 days a week. Man, that Friday night show is something special. I'll tell you what. Give him a lot of credit for doing that. Don't forget, you see the bottom of your screen there, all the different platforms. You can follow us at Inside Edge Net and our website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. Okay, make sure you check that out. You can see and get to know all the personalities. You got 13 shows and counting here on the Inside Edge Network. Plenty more to come. And a merch shop, so you can buy different merchandise for us. Again, the goal, got to sell 10 items from now until the end of May. Then I could think of nothing better for my birthday in June to be able to cut Eli's hair live on Unfiltered. That would be honestly one of the coolest things that could ever possibly happen if we can get that done. So crossing my fingers, guys, head over to the website, make those purchases, support us and run the network while you're at it too. Okay, so let's get into this story out of Wayne County. If you're wondering where that is, it is kind of near Lodi in Northeast Ohio, just southwest of Medina, not too far away from there. Incident happened at around 11 a.m. this morning. So this actually happened earlier in the day today. Normally we kind of see what happens and respond and react to stuff. But there you go. You see it. There's an active incident, and it involved the sheriff, Thomas Ballinger, and a deputy out there. So what happened was they got a call about a suspicious person. You see Congress Road. This is where it all went down. And they arrived at the scene, and the person, well, decided to stab Sheriff Ballinger in the arm. He sliced him with a 4 to 6 inch pocket knife, and then, after a tussle, stabbed the deputy near the groin area. That just makes me twinge when I think about that. The good news is Sheriff Ballinger, he was treated at an area hospital. He's going to be okay. Some serious injuries to the deputy, but it looks like he's going to be okay. He's being treated for those at an Akron area hospital. Sheriff Ballinger was transported to a hospital near Worcester to get checked out. The issue was he wasn't in custody. The manhunt went underway. It actually led to a local school district having a lockdown because, again, another day, another school lockdown, another school incident. Though there was no expected harm to any of the students. It has been lifted because at around just before 2 o'clock, the suspect was caught and taken into custody. They found him, get this, on the roof of a shed. And he had to be talked down by negotiators. They helped him down and they took him into custody. And of course, the added bonus in all this, the suspect has been known to law enforcement. They do have previous record of dealing with them. And they are known to have suffered from mental health issues. I mentioned the theme in the first segment today that mental health is going to be very important. And it is not only for the network, but for today's show, based on some of the stories that have been in the news the past couple of days, now including this morning into this afternoon. Glad this was resolved. Glad he was caught. Glad everyone else is safe. And again, hoping and praying that the deputy's going to be all good and Sheriff Ballinger is able to recover. My goodness. Like this is this is what we talk about, man. This is that mental health side of things. Where like if you're struggling, if you need help, like ask, please. You never know. I know the 988 line's out there and all that stuff, and there's things you can look up. The Google search. We're in a great day and age because if this was, happening a lot or if it was in the news a lot and there's a lot of people struggling and mental health was as big of a focus before the internet, before these resources that are right at our fingertips, it'd be so much harder to really find help. But at the bare minimum, like it's right there. It's right there for you. And you can avoid situations like this because now 2 people are hurt. One seriously, one obviously just dealing with the lacerations on his arm. And again, a guy's in custody, and there was essentially close to a 3-hour manhunt for him. And it's involving students and people in school and kids. And I talked about it, the 2 most precious age groups, and people we need to protect and care for are our children and our elderly. And I'm telling you, like you don't want to do anything to put them in jeopardy or give them reason to be scared or in harm. And we're going to talk about a situation involving some students again in the next segment. But again, just very thankful that this has been sorted out. It's been figured out, and that person's in custody. hope that they get the help they need mentally. And again, this is just one of those situations where you have to be willing to accept it. And I think that's one of the biggest things I struggled with when it came to my mental health and being able to actually go to a therapist that started out as a couples therapist and turned into essentially just mine. And just being able to go and to work through what's going on in your head. Because this is the result. This is what can happen. If you let things go too far and you lose control of it. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying it's as simple as, oh, if I look up one thing on Google, I'm going to be fine tomorrow. It's like, no, but it's the beginning of the process, and it's going to open your mind up to more possibilities and being able to embrace taking care of your mental health, because that matters. It matters so much. Got to be able to do that. Got to find an avenue to do it, whether it's people you know. Now, I don't recommend usually going to social media, but I mean, if you have to, look up the groups. There are groups on Facebook and all that stuff. I know it. We did our research. Adults, 25 men, 25 to 54 in the Cleveland area here, Northeast Ohio, 70+% use Facebook regularly. It's like, okay, if that's the most popular app, they have the groups on there. I know I'm speaking from a male perspective, but this goes for ladies too. If you got it going on, if there's stuff happening, I mean, there are ways to start the process to get better and to work through those issues, whether it's from your own fault or not. If someone else has caused them in your life, if it's been just a garnering of all this stuff that's just weighing on you, there's ways and there's people to talk to and there's things you can read and there's different ways you yourself can put yourself in a better place mentally. You just have to be willing to go down that rabbit hole. We talk about, I watched TikTok for 5 hours last night because I couldn't fall asleep. I've been doom scrolling on that thing, all that stuff. Like, there is doom scroll on this, on your mental health and how to get it better and how to focus on yourself. Because again, I don't want to see these stories. I know they're going to happen. I'm not naive. But I think if we strive as a community, as a collective, to be able to work towards bettering our mental health. Hell, Eli the other day was telling me, like, yeah, man, listen, he was going to come over from Backlash, and he's like, listen, I just need to go touch grass. Like, I respect that. Being in tune with the mental health and being able to understand what you need in those moments, because he's been busting his ass. Doing, of course, prime time, 10 to 11 tonight, don't forget. And then also, he's producing a bunch of shows for us, too. All the work he's done. Like, I appreciate the hell out of him, and I appreciate the fact that he knows what it takes to get himself mentally right, no matter what gets thrown his direction. I want everyone to kind of have that mindset. So, and this, again, these stories, and it's highlighted. It's right there. The mental health side matters very much. Quick break. When we come back on the other side, I got to talk to you guys about this story because, again, it feels like every day I'm doing a story about something happening in a damn school. But teacher in an Ohio school gets arrested, facing some pretty serious charges for punching a student. And he tried to punch another one. And now he's got students coming out supporting him. What a story. We're going to break that down coming up. Also, don't forget to, it's our kicker story to wrap up the show. Gas prices still high, but 7-Eleven's trying to do something to help you out a little bit. We'll give you the details on that coming up. Stay with us. Monster Moments Photography is a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland, owned and operated by Inside Edge Network's very own Ryan Mosser and his wife, Hallie. For the past 10 years, they've captured more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond, always working together as a true two-person team. Their style centers on authentic, emotional storytelling, documenting the real moments between two people in love and creating images that feel natural, comfortable, and true to the couple. Rooted in Northern Ohio but inspired by their travels, Ryan and Hallie bring a warm, personal approach to every wedding day. Their work blends experience, consistency, and a genuine passion for helping couples relive their best day through timeless photography. Learn more at monstermomentsphotography.com by using the QR code on your screen right now. monstermomentsphotography.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader.
Don't it feel good when the Cavaliers and the Pistons tied the series, tied at 2-2? We can kind of stretch just a bit. Cavaliers going on the road. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up tonight on Midnight Run. Plus, the return of our favorite segment, Midnight Conversations. Myself, Eli, and Omar will have that for you, including the big question. Does water equal wet? I personally don't think so, but some of you are probably going to be pissed when you hear my discussion about that. But that's coming up. Is water wet? Part of Midnight Conversations. Also, listen, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. separate, they're annoying. Together, it's television gold. We'll talk about that. Plus, any NFL schedule news. We'll get that for you coming up tonight at midnight. It's Midnight Run. We're with you every single weeknight at midnight right here on the Inside Edge Network.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
Unfiltered with Kyle Cornell here on your Tuesday, May 12th, 2026. So happy you were with us right here on the Inside Edge Network. Don't forget, of course, like, subscribe, punch that notification bell to get all the latest updates when we go live. Of course, daily programming for you, prime time, Inside Edge prime time tonight, 10 to 11 with Eli and Chad, and a midnight run with Double A. Is water wet? You guys have to remind me in the comments to slap Double A the next time I see him. God, it's stupid. Well, last week it was, why is the living room called the living, or if you die in the living room, should it still be called the living room? In which I made the counterpoint, the counter argument that there should be then a death room in the house. So that's our living room, and then down the hall, that's where everyone goes to die. Like if you're that concerned about it, this is unhinged. And you know what? It's Midnight Run, so that's what they want to do. They want to get unhinged down there. It's water wet tonight. Oh, Eli, you guys are fucking insane. All right, so speaking of insane, we got to talk about this wonderful story out of southeastern Ohio in a town called Waterford. It's near Marietta, kind of near the West Virginia-Ohio border down there. And it involves 55-year-old teacher Matthew Ward. There he is. That's a pretty mugshot. This young man is a phys ed teacher. He's a PE teacher at Waterford High School. This happened last Tuesday, so a week ago. And he was removed from the school on Wednesday because during gym class, according to a victim's account, Mr. Warden there is accused of punching a student in the jaw and then attempting to hit another during the class. Apparently what the victim said happened was that Warden had two kids sit down next to him on both sides because they were, quote, pissing him off, and he told them to stick out their chins. That's when he hit one in the chin. Apparently the student had a red mark and was suffering throughout the rest of the day from a sore jaw. The other one he attempted to punch but missed. He told authorities when they came to pick him up the next day, last Wednesday, that he was only joking. Now he is facing two counts of assault. I believe they're misdemeanors, but still, this is a big deal. He was released on bond this past Friday on his own recognizance and is currently the the focus of an active investigation by the school district. Here's the kicker in all this. Here's the thing about all of this now. So the school board has a meeting last night. And he had 3 students and a parent speak on his behalf, talking about, and again, I shared the article on our Facebook page. You can see what they've been saying about how he's this amazing teacher and he makes all this time for everyone and he's always there and he's always so positive and he has all these things, that he does for the schools and for the kids, and he has relationships with all of his students. Well, apparently he's a little too close to a couple of them. He was arraigned in court, and apparently a bunch of students showed up. He talked to him. He was getting teary-eyed, and his voice was cracking up, and the students were feeling for this guy. Looking back, some of my favorite teachers were gym teachers. I think the main reason why is because it was gym, and it's not that serious. I think you're just there to, as long as you're moving around and you're exercising, that's the point. So they get to have a little more fun, too. And a lot of times they're coaches, too. Like I know my one gym teacher, Mr. Fanowski at Parma High, he was a wrestling coach, so kind of double duty on that. He taught some health classes too at one point or another, I believe. Obviously, really good shape. I saw him at the gym a couple times too. It's wild. But like, they tend to kind of be those teachers you feel like you can get a little bit away with. And I think the big issue that a lot of parents and a lot of people I've seen that have been commenting on this story have is that they're worried that, especially in today's day and age, their respect for teachers is falling off. And they're losing a lot of control and a lot of power when it comes to being able to command a classroom or command a class and be able to lead them and to be able to have respect in that classroom. And, it was funny. It used to always be a joke before it was the subs. It was the substitutes you wouldn't respect, right? It was the substitutes that you would give a hard time to because, they totally deserve that. Knowing what we know now as adults, it's like, shit, we probably should have treated them even better. Because all the stuff they have to go through and essentially working part-time, bouncing around the schools possibly here and there, like it's a lot for them. But no, I'm sorry, there really shouldn't be an investigation. I mean, he punched a student in the face and he didn't deny it. Like, I'm sorry, dude, I don't care how nice of a guy you are, you should be fired. And you've been charged, you're going to have to, something's going to come from this. Unless the students don't decide to follow through on this or whatever it is, but I don't think that's going to be the case because he has been charged. Dude, you struck a student in the face. Like, what are we talking about here? I've said it multiple times on this show. Children are the group, along with the elderly, that we need to protect the most. We need to look out for the most. And this contradicts what I just said. You doing what you did contradicts looking out for students, having those relationships with all those students means nothing if you think it's a joke that you can just punch them in the face. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? I don't care how much goodwill you've had or how many years you've taught there or how many students come and defend you, because apparently the good news is you haven't punched all of them in the face. But if you're going to have that kind of attitude where it's going to get to you, you have to be the adult. You're the teacher, man. And this isn't a student teacher. This isn't someone in their early to mid-20s who just got their first class and lost control because they didn't respect them or whatever it was, and they lashed out, which still wouldn't be acceptable either. I just want to point that out. But at least you can say, hey, they're really new at this. Maybe this dude pick a different career because you obviously can't handle this. This dude's 55. He's been teaching for a lot of years. The fuck are we doing? And honestly, what scenario is going to come out of this that says, you know what? It was justified. Even if the kids hit the teacher. The first reaction of the teacher shouldn't be to hit the kids back. It should be to subdue them or whatever it is, or hold them down or call for backup or whatever it is if you got to. Not, yeah, I'm going to hit you in the face. And that doesn't sound like it's what happened. This should be a very quick investigation by the Waterford School District, and this guy should be gone. His biggest concern shouldn't be, is he going to show up to work tomorrow? His biggest concern should be, am I going to go to prison tomorrow or not? Dude, I don't care if it was a 17-year-old kid that was built like a brick shithouse that was like 6'7", 250 pounds, and he swung at you. Like, it doesn't matter. They're still kids. kids, man. You can't do that. You just can't. Can't put your hands on a student like that. You can't. It's one thing breaking up fights and pulling kids off or whatever it is. It's one thing separating and if you gotta shove a little bit, whatever it is, to get them out of there for their own good, so they're not hurting each other, that's one thing. But you pulling two kids, if this story is exactly the way it's said, and I know there's gray area and there'll be some he said, she said shit, and he's gonna come out with his side of the story at some point if he's not going to already in court or whatever it is. But like, if this is what happened, if you got upset with two kids because they were misbehaving, and you sat them down next to you because they were pissing you off, and you thought the proper punishment was to have them stick out their chins so you could punch them in the face, but you were only joking, that's not a trustworthy person. That's not someone I want around my child. That's not someone I want running my phys ed class, any class. And I don't think it's crazy of me to say that. I'm thankful for my perspective as a father because I do have a son. He's only 8. He's not in high school yet. But oh my God, if I found out a teacher hit him like that, oh boy, they'd be hearing from me. Like, this is crazy. Whether he deserved it or not, I'll deal with him later. If my son mouthed off to whatever it is, we'll talk about respecting your teachers and all that stuff. But you do not do that. You do not put your hands on a student like that. And again, like I said, it wasn't like he was pulling them apart from a fight or he was doing. These kids could have been fighting, these two students. They could have been arguing. They could have been fighting, whatever it is. And that was, he separated them and said, you're pissing me off. But your response shouldn't be to punish them with physical violence like that. Dude, it's gym class. Make them run sprints on the opposite side of each other. I'm fine with that. That's cool. Like, yeah, okay. Obviously you have a lot of energy because you're upset about something or whatever it is. So we're going to run it off. Maybe that's also just the coach and me and the athlete, but it's like, okay, if you want to mouth off or you want to be disrespectful or whatever it is, okay, well, let's run. That could have been the end of it. What were these kids doing that he felt the need? I need to punch you in the face to teach you a lesson. He wasn't teaching boxing class to other adults. I'm pretty sure they don't even have boxing classes at any of these schools. If they did, it's still kind of weird. I wouldn't expect that. You box in your free time. Or like us down at John Muir in front of the school when we were in high school, but it was also with fellow high schoolers. It's crazy. Like, I rode down one time, fell off the front of my bike. It's a whole story I'll tell some other time. But like, this is crazy. And the fact that this guy still has a job. The school board said they're waiting for the I believe the legal investigation to run its course or whatever it is, and then they're gonna take it back over, or they're handing it off because they have a chain of command inside the schools that deal with it. This is a pretty easy decision. I don't care if 100 students come up and defend this guy. You can't do that. You just can't. And there is no excuse. And you are going to lose your. If this guy doesn't lose his job, I will make it my effort to try and get either the school board president or the superintendent on from that district to be like, hey, what happened? Because just plain as day, sometimes, listen, I know 90% of us, there's a gray area of things that happen. And I'm very much into hearing all sides. It's part of my background in news. But sometimes when you do certain things, it's kind of self-explanatory that you just shouldn't have done it and you should have to pay for it. This is one of those things where it's like, you punched a kid in the face. Oh my goodness. And he's still going to teach there. You sure about that? I doubt it. I severely doubt it. And I'd imagine this decision will come fairly quickly. I think the only thing he has going for him is the end of the school year, pretty much. So maybe that's why they're not as hard pressed to finish this out, to put him on leave, and they'll get it done over the summer or something like that. But there's no way this dude should be able to walk back into that school as a teacher. He's lucky he's not walking into a prison and staying there. I mean, that's wild. Putting your hands on a minor, man, that's that's tough. All right, final break in the show. When we come back, A lighter story and a good story for all of you people out there that are trying to save a buck at the pumps. Gas, it's still expensive. It's still a lot. But 7-Eleven is trying to do something special for you. We'll talk about that coming up here on Unfiltered. Stay with us. Fanatics isn't just our name, it's who we are. Loyal, passionate fans dedicated to our favorite teams and to the sports we love. That's why we're honored to be able to offer fans the world's largest collection of official sports apparel and sports jerseys from all leagues, teams, and players you love. We feature a wide selection of gear from every league, including the NFL, MLB, NBA, NHL, and NCAA merchandise, which allows us to serve fans of football, baseball, hockey, basketball, lacrosse, soccer, golf, and, well, everything else that gets your heart pumping. Go to fanatics.com by using the QR code on your screen right now to celebrate your teams. That's fanatics.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Discover our collection of body mists made with clean, minimal ingredients. Handcrafted with natural essential oils and clean ingredients, they offer a natural alternative to synthetic fragrances. Perfect for sensitive skin and those seeking clean, mindful self-care, and the perfect gift for you or your special someone. Courtesy of Alley Rose Fragrances. First-time customers, use that promo code InsideEdge20 to receive 20% off your order. AlleyRoseFragrances.com, a proud sponsor of the Inside Edge Network, Cleveland's digital leader. Find us on InsideEdgeNetwork.com for the latest information on your favorite shows, personalities, and network partners. Plus, guess what? We have a merch shop. That's right, we have network polos, t-shirts, champion jackets, hats, and bottles. Rep the network. Every purchase supports independent sports and entertainment media. Use the QR code on your screen right now to check out InsideEdgeNetwork.com. That's InsideEdgeNetwork.com.
And I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that bray.
For all time's sake. As time goes by. It's been a long time. Some of the old songs.
Welcome back. Final segment of Unfiltered here with Kyle Cornell on your Tuesday. So happy you're with us on the Inside Edge Network. Do not forget, one last time, like, subscribe, punch that notification bell so you know when we go live. Daily content for you every single day, how it works, including 3 daily shows Monday through Friday. And who knows, maybe some more stuff on the way. We'll keep you guys posted on that. You see right there, YouTube, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Inside Edge Net, and don't forget the website, InsideEdgeNetwork.com. As you just heard, got merch. You can see all the different personality profiles of everyone who runs their shows, our backgrounds, all that great stuff. And of course, expand your horizons a little bit. We got everything from professional wrestling to news to sports and everything in between. So make sure you guys check that all out. And you're going to want to check this out. 7-Eleven doing something special for you and I here in the next few months. And you may want to take advantage of this because there's no end in sight when it comes to gas prices right now. They keep on rising. National average right now is at $4.52 per gallon. It keeps going up. But again, 7-Eleven trying to give you a hand. It's part of their new all-in promotion for 7-Eleven. And what that means is drivers can get 50 cents off per gallon of gas. That's pretty cool. It happens on the 7th and the 11th of now June and July. You see right there, the 7th and the 11th. All you have to do, so here are the steps to make sure that you can take advantage of this. So you're going to download the 7-Eleven app. That's the first thing you're going to do. Next, you're going to create a profile like you would for any sort of app you would download when you do that. Then you're going to text all in, ALLIN, to 7-Eleven, and you're going to receive a link. That's how you can, of course, redeem your 50 cents off per gallon promotional, whatever you want to call it, your promotional link, your promotional use it, essentially. Again, works through that date. So works through July 11th. So that means June 7th, June 11th, July 7th, July 11th. So that's 4 days you can get 50 cents off per gallon of gas. It will be applied right to you when you go there, when you're at the pump. You just have to put in your phone number, like you would essentially if you go to like Giant Eagle, if you have, the fuel perks, whatever. I think Meijer does it too. All the different stores have like their own like little thing. You either a membership card or you put your phone number in, and that's how you do it. Same thing with 7-Eleven. You do that, you'll get 50 cents off per gallon. I'll tell you what, it's going to matter. It really is. When you talk about, we don't know what's going to happen with Iran. We don't know how long this is going to keep going as far as gas prices being super high. So this is an avenue to save some pretty good money. 50 cents a gallon is pretty damn nice. You talk about, I mentioned it the other week, fill up my Impala was almost $80. I was just above E, so it was $80 to fill up my car. I can never remember a time where it cost that much for me to do that. 50 cents off per gallon, and I have 15.5 gallon tank. I mean, geez, that's gonna save me good pretty penny. I'm terrible at math when it comes to that, but that's a good savings, and I would take that in a heartbeat. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. 7-Eleven trying to do their part to get you some savings. Before we wrap up, I want to bring in Eli to bring up an Inside Edge prime time tonight from 10 to 11. You guys always put on a good show. What are we talking about tonight? Is it more Cavs? Is it what are we doing?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked, Kyle. We are definitely talking some Cavaliers. We are going to do our top 5 list.
This is the part where I tell Eli I can't hear him.
Oh no, you can't hear me. Oh no.
And he's gone. This happens from time to time. And you know what? It actually is kind of refreshing to know that for once, it's not my microphone that's acting up. Maybe it's just StreamYard in its general state. But of course, don't forget 10 to 11. Get Inside Edge Primetime. Eli and Chad always have a great show. And then afterwards, you saw the promo earlier from Double A, Midnight Run with Double A Anthony Alford. He's going to have Omar and Eli on that. The big question, is water wet? Because they have their conversations segment. What do you think? Is water wet? Is the age-old question. It's like asking if fire's hot. Like, yes, water's wet. What's your definition of wet? I don't get it. Doesn't make a lot. They're gonna talk about it. They're gonna try and make some sense about it at Midnight Run. And of course, Eli and Chad gonna have a great show tonight. He has decided to descend into the ether until 10 o'clock, so we'll see him later on in of course our daily programming, which is awesome. If you guys haven't liked and subscribed yet, that is what you need to do. You got to make sure you get on this train now. We're going to be adding some more stuff in the coming weeks and months too, so it's going to be a great daily breakdown for you, along with all the different shows we have too. And again, InsideEdgeNetwork.com is where you can find all the lineup during the week. Every day there's a specialty show. There's other stuff going on that you have to check out and see, because there's always content for you. In a day and age where we need it, we have to fill our time with all this content. We definitely have that for you. We provide it for you here on the Inside Edge Network. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me here on Unfiltered on your Tuesday. Appreciate you stopping by. Thanks so much for staying with me. Tomorrow, obviously, going to get into more news and notes of the day, and we'll get you ready. They got me doing post-game coverage for the Cavs tomorrow night. By they, I mean that's Anthony, so we'll see how that goes. But we'll talk about the Cavs again, get them ready, some keys to the game maybe before we get things moving. It's going to be back out in Detroit. They got to try and get the job done on the road. We got the job for you done here on Unfiltered. And again, before you go, remember, you should always know you belong, you matter, you're worth it, you're doing great, you're loved, you can do anything, you have a voice, and I believe in you. Thanks so much. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, right here, 5 o'clock on the Inside Edge Network on Unfiltered. Have a great rest of your Tuesday.